People, welcome to Newspaper Breakdown. It's the 28th of December. I hope we've had a good Christmas period. I struggled. I was going to do one yesterday, but quite honestly, I struggled to get back on and doing it, putting the old finger out the hole. But I had a fun time, spent some time with family, drank too much, as the way it should be. There's only a few stories. The main reason is because I'm not sure if you've seen over the Christmas period, but the majority of the stories are individual tragedies, violence in pubs and car crashes and stuff like that. And they're very important stories, but they're not the type of thing I talk about on this. So we've only got a few stories to get through. The first one is according to the BMA, which is the British Medical Association. 4 in 10 junior doctors are actively planning to quit the NHS as soon as they have another job. This is the majority are the main reasons are poor pay and working conditions. You'll notice in previous episodes of this we've done stories on how much the NHS is paying agency workers. You've got doctors who are being paid over £5,000 for one shift. And this is one of the issues that we're going to have going forward with junior doctors. They're not being paid enough. The conditions that they're working in. I mean, the government claimed that they were going to build 40 new houses. That was a lie. Even 40 new hospitals. I mean, Christ, I wouldn't be able to build 40 new fucking houses. But they said they were going to build 40 new hospitals. They never were. It's a lie. They built like a wing in one hospital and claimed that was a whole new hospital. It is a constant lies from these people. But if you were going to build, let's say you were going to build 40 new hospitals, where are you going to get the doctors from? Because as we're seeing here, junior doctors are planning on fucking off. 1/3 of those who wanted to quit the NHS plan to work abroad in the next 12 months, with Australia being the top choice. This is like anti-Brexit what we're doing at the moment. It's where we were. People were coming into this country. People wanted to work in this country, and now people in this country want to fuck off. That's how much we've turned around this country in the past 6-7 years. We've gone through a place where people actually want to come here because we're a half decent country, to people wanting to fuck away because it's so shit. We already have fewer doctors than we need. We know this. They keep on telling us we've got more staff here in the NHS than we've ever had. But what are those staff? What are they doing? Because it can't be that we have more staff than ever before, but we still need 100,000 nurses and 100,000 doctors. Because then the staff that we have, what are they? Because they're not going to be the most important people that we require in a hospital. Next month, junior doctors go to the ballots to vote on industrial action. That is going to be the 9th of January. How you're looking around with all the strikes that are going on, expect them to vote to strike. You envisage that they're going to go, yep, we'll join your merry gang. Junior doctors have faced some of the steepest cuts in their pay of any public sector worker in the last 15 years. We can add that into the why would they strike reasoning. It's more than a quarter in real terms since 2008 to 2009. It's a quarter of their money, 26% cut in 15 years. And this is it. You go on, we put lots of money in, we've put tons of money into the NHS. Oh, you're getting so much money. Junior doctors have lost 26% in real terms. That is a remarkable amount for anyone. That is madness. And you consider to become a doctor, 7 years? And so you've got that debt behind you because we don't do university for free. Ridiculous. The government has said, with regards to this, our multi-year deal with the BMA increases junior doctors' pay by a cumulative 8.2% by 2023. Now, this is one of the things that I hate so much about this world, our inability to just see what numbers are. If you're down by 26% in 15 years and you say you're going to rise it by 8.3% by 2023, you are doing that 8.3% off the back of the 74% that is left over. So you're cutting that down from the 26%. I can't do the maths in my head, I'm not a fucking genius, but that will go from you're down 26% to, let's say you're down 23%, 22%, let's say, something like that. Less. So it's meaningless. It's absolutely meaningless. But the government are going to say we gave them an 8.3% pay rise, and they have the audacity to strike. The audacity. And there will be people in this country, not a lot, hopefully fewer and fewer as we go along, who will be pointing out, well, they've got a higher pay cut than I, and they got a higher pay rise than I did. You notice that they get a higher pay. Why am I not getting it? Right. The reality is, and the reality is important. Reality is that they're going to have a massive cut over the last 15 years. But we do have better news coming towards the end of the year, so we get better news from the NHS. It is set to eliminate hepatitis C in England by 2025 due to targeted screening for those at risk and effective drug treatment. NHS England said the measures are helping to dramatically cut deaths from the virus 5 fucking years ahead of global targets. This is exceptional news, brilliant news. It goes to show the actual good that humanity can do. You look at the past with fucking polio, with the diseases that we have eradicated. We are front and centre in trying to eradicate hepatitis C here, and it is fucking fantastic news. Deaths from Hep C have fallen by 35% since a 5-year deal worth almost £1 billion to buy antiviral drugs for thousands of patients was struck in 2018. Now, the WHO target, World Health Organization target of 10% reduction by 2020 has been exceeded threefold by England. Good fucking news. You want to be a little, you want to be a Grinch on this. You will point out that we can do this for pretty much everything. Money is the only thing that is stopping us from doing it. And if we manage to eradicate Hep C, will we use that information to help the rest of the world? Chances are probably not. It's why you've still got places with fucking polio. It's why everything that we've eradicated in this country hasn't been eradicated from places like Africa. Because although we can do, we are unwilling to. If you want to be a Grinch about it, which, I mean, you're fine if you want to. Ministers attempting to recoup wasted taxpayer money spent on fraudulent PPE contracts have been described as pitiable by ministers. £18 million has been retrieved as of the 12th of December. So 18 million as of the 12th of December, with an estimated amount that could be involving error or fraud thought to be about 630 million. We've got 18 million from 630 million back thus far. That's not, of course, taken into account the 3.9 billion from PPE that was not needed, that we're currently paying to house. Although you can always argue that it's better to have it than not need it. and not need it, then not have it. You saw at the start of the pandemic when we didn't fucking have any. Um, you know, there, you can of course argue that we should have had something prepared, but then you go back to 2016 and you remember the fact that in this country we did a mock a mock game, shall we say, to see how prepared we were for a pandemic, and we fucking weren't. And then the government did shit all about it, which is one of the reasons why we had so many people die during the pandemic. It all goes back. Lots of things are connected. Lots of things. There's everything fucking there. They're not hiding it. It isn't a conspiracy. I'm not trying to suggest that it's lizard men. It's just incompetence and potential evil fucking everywhere. There's also 2.7 billion worth of stock in dispute, mostly over concerns about the quality of the PPE provided. This goes down to the fact that a lot of the PPE contracts that were given out were seemingly given to companies that have been around for 4 days, called themselves like PPE the ones, and have never been involved in doing PPE. So what they sent over to us was shit. Lib Dems plan on tabling an amendment banning VIP lanes, through which most of these contracts were awarded. The VIP lanes were the lanes where you called up a minister that you know and say, hey, can I get some money? And they said, of course. Are you going to continue to give me money for elections? And they said, yeah, of course we are, because they're all corrupt. Final story will be on Rishi Sunak, our PM. He has refused to give his new ethics advisor, Laurie Magnus, which is one fucking hell of a name, the power to launch his own investigations into ministers' behaviour. Of course, the ethics advisor is called an independent advisor, which is a lot like calling Pinocchio an independent walker. He's not. It's all the strings, isn't it? It's all the strings. I mean, we're considering this with the Pinocchio when he starts, not I've become a real boy area. The PM, an ethics advisor is meant to be in charge of investigating the behaviour of ministers, making sure that they do not break ministerial codes. The problem, if you do not give the ethics advisor the ability to set up his own investigations, means that it's all down to the Prime Minister, which it shouldn't be. Who watches the watchman, as it were. The PM can veto investigations into ministers' conduct, and is the sole arbiter of the ministerial code, including any sanctions. So this is a man who, when he stood in front of 10 Downing Street, said, oh, it's all going to be integrity and accountability and responsibility, and it's not. It's not. Of course it's not. Right, well, hopefully, in the next couple of days, there will be more exciting news out. We'll do Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then we'll probably be back on the 2nd, is my assumption, because I'm going to need a day to lie in bed and do fuck all after New Year's Eve. So I hope you're all okay, and I shall speak to you another time.